Hello everyone, my name is Gotz and I'm General Manager for Botanica. And as we celebrate our 25th anniversary this year, I'm delighted to have Botanica's founder, Judy Vanrenen, join me today to share some insights into the Botanica story. Welcome, Judy.
Thank you very much, Carly. It's very exciting to be here for this very special year, 25 years after we first started Botanica.
And it really is such a big milestone, 25 years. And I'd like you to cast your mind back and talk a little bit about what was the initial spark of creating Botanica?
Well, it was interesting because I guess it was an opportunity to combine my business, my tourism skills with my love of gardening. And 25 years ago, I was chairing a tourism board for the Southern Grampians in Western Victoria. A lot of the garden owners came and asked me how could they get more visitors to their gardens. So I had a chat to my now late business partner, Geoffrey Geary, who owned the APT group, and said, what about, some more visitors to the gardens? And he said, well, if we don't really know a lot about that, what about we do something together? So we formed a partnership and Botanica was born. We had no idea, though, I have to say, that 25 years later, the business would be as large as it is and would have turned into a global garden tourism company.
It is such a wonderful story. Looking back over a quarter of a century, what are some of the most significant moments or the most memorable moments that we've had as a business?
Well, it's interesting because it's been a real evolution, Carly. We started with our Australian tours and then New Zealand. And then in 2005, we branched out into Europe and the French and Italian gardens. And then we went to Chelsea Flower Show and Japan. And then in 2011, there was a big change when we chartered our first privately botanically themed ship on the Rhine and the Danube. And then in 2012, you will remember, we had Floriade in the Netherlands and we chartered 10 ships on the Rhine and the Rhone and botanically themed them, taking 500 people to Europe in the 1 year.
I remember it was such a wonderful event. So beyond the business success, Judy, what are some of your most cherished highlights or memorable moments from your time leading Botanica?
Well, Carly, I would have to say it's the people. The people make up the business, and as I commonly refer to them as our Botanica family, it's all the travelling guests who have been so loyal to us over the years. It's all the teams of suppliers, including your team, who put all the programs together. It's amazing the people that you meet, and it's hard to single out any particular person, but you will recall we had Monty Don. He's done an amazing job of bringing gardens to everyone around the world, and to have him lecture on our cruises has been a wonderful experience. And he launched my first book, or Botanica's first book, in Europe, which was incredible. And I think I never thought that I would ever be an author of books. So to publish 3 books for our Botanica guests has been an amazing journey, which I have really enjoyed.
They are such great reads. So with all of the incredible places that you visited around the world, Judy, is there any gardens that hold a special place in your heart?
Well, it's hard with our gardens to just think of any particular garden, but I think one of the things that's good for us to think about is revisiting certain gardens again. And this year I was lucky enough to go to Sissinghurst again and see all the improvements that actually made, including the Delos garden, which is designed for Mediterranean plants for a dry climate, and that was very special. The other really interesting garden was Ninfa, which I really enjoyed in Italy. And last time I saw it in the sunshine, this time I saw it in the rain, and they were very different experiences. I also love, and I'm so proud that we have the Melbourne International Flower and Garden Show here in Australia, and also you can't go past Chelsea Flower Show with its immaculate plantings and garden designs.
We have such wonderful travellers with Botanica, and they're so loyal and they love to give their feedback and share their passion with us. How has that shaped Botanica's journeys over the years?
Well, Carly, I think the fact that I've spent so much time, and you and your team have as well, talking to these people, sitting down over dinner with them, they have curious minds and they want to learn more and they want to share knowledge about different gardens that they might find, or we might find interesting for other Botanica guests.
Judy, our botanical guides are often praised as one of the highlights of the journeys. What makes a great botanical guide in your eyes?
I think they have to have an absolute love of people and plants and sharing their knowledge. They're very generous in sharing their knowledge with all the travellers, and I'm often in absolute awe of the lectures that they provide because they're sharing the history of a country through the plants and the gardens, and we can all learn so much just from spending time with them.
There's such a wealth of information. So as you reflect on Botanica's incredible journey so far, what are some of the hopes of the legacy for Botanica moving forward?
I think as a global tourism company that's taking people all around the world, it would be nice to also take people from other countries and bring them all together so they can all learn the culture of each other's botanical worlds while they're travelling together. So that's one of them. The other one is, I think, trying to introduce the ecological and natural landscape and plants into our travels is something people will be looking for more in the future.
On a personal note, Judy, what exciting travel plans do you have on your horizon?
Well, I've always wanted to go to the Po River in Italy. And as you know, Carly, I've actually booked on the Botanica small canal boat to do exactly that next year between Venice and Florence. The other thing that I'm very intrigued about and keen to do and have booked on is the Murray River cruise on the Australian Star next year, which is going to be a lot of fun. And this year, I'm really looking forward to welcoming our Botanica travellers to my garden, Wiltshire, where we're going to have a little celebration for our 25th anniversary, which will be very special as this was one of the very first tours we started with.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Judy. It has been so lovely to reminisce about Botanica's 25-year journey.
Well, thank you very much, Carly. It's been a lot of fun.